Cafe in the heart of Paris, France, the tables and chairs waited for the next story to happen along. And there was Weisz, finding himself at this French cafe once again, reading the New York Times. And there was Chastity, the one woman in this crazy nightcap world that truly knew his heart, even more than his wife. Are you hungry?
Starving.
Oh, for what? She wondered. Theirs was a love that had only been given life some 4 months ago. Too soon to be extinguished, yes? She silently prayed for it to survive, while Alston read, attempting to quell his thoughts of disillusionment. His life had become too complicated lately, how he once more wished for the simple pleasures of Boise, Idaho.
Would you like to sir?
Soup and salad.
All the same. Chastity didn't want to bring it up. She knew the waiter intimately. She felt herself justified. After all, Alston was married, but she dared not tell him.
I have something to tell you.
Was this it? The tension mounted. Was the end near? She couldn't stand the waiting. Not like this. Not here at their little French cafe. What is it?
Harvey's dead.
She hadn't expected that. Harvey, their longtime companion, dead? It didn't seem possible. What'd you do with him?
I put him in a plastic bag and threw him in the dumpster.
She couldn't believe it. Thoughts began to rush through her head. What was the truth behind Harvey's death? That's a bit cold, don't you think?
What would you have me do? It's not like you can flush him down the toilet like a goldfish.
This was a side of Alston Chastity had never seen before. Could this be the man she loved finally unsheathed? Are you sure he was dead?
I came into the room and found him on his little hamster wheel, not moving.
Harvey, their little hamster, dead. Harvey, their longtime companion, to never run again on his little hamster wheel. But the question still lingered. Did Alston have something to do with it? Was this how he intended to end the affair?
Where's that salad? I'm starving.
Alston stated, growing more and more agitated as the moments passed. Do you see that woman over there? Spotting a strange person and their dog.
What woman?
That woman over. Put down the waiter's Stanley. She called him Stanley, the name of the waiter. She hoped to play it off. Maybe he didn't notice.
What about it?
I think she's talking about us. But how could this strange person and their dog be talking about them? Did they know her? Did she know them? Excuse me, ma'am?
Don't bother her, Stacy. Can't you see she's trying to look at her menu?
Chastity was so wrapped up in the stranger's presence, she failed to notice Alston referred to her as Stacy, Alston's wife back in Boise, Idaho. Ma'am, are you talking about us? No. It was then I realized she was talking to me, a stranger with no ties to her whatsoever. What are you doing? I'm waiting to order, I said, hoping she'd go back to her beloved. She's talking about us, Stanley. Alston! No, I'm not, I responded. Who were you talking to? Months of uncertainty began taking their toll on her. She began hallucinating. No one, I said, trying to break the strange reality she was creating. Ma'am, are you narrating? I am only reading my menu, I said, not wanting to involve her. She is, Stanley.
Well, that's silly. Who would do such a thing?
And Alston was right. Who would do such a thing? The answer? No one. Because that wasn't what was happening. I urged her to take her seat. She humbly apologized and went back to the table. No, I didn't. Yes, she did. I did not. A trick! A cruel trick it was! Before she could embarrass herself any further, Alston came up behind her, grabbed her arms, whipped her around, and said, "Darling, please! Remember what the doctor said about your condition!" What condition?
Do you want me to grab her? Don't.
Alston, stop it. Stanley was the name of the waiter.
What a coincidence.
Alston said said for no apparent reason.
No, I mean, if the waiter's name is Stanley, then it is a coincidence because my name is Stanley as well.
Olston.
Apparently your name is Olson, Stanley. And my name is?
Chastity.
Oh, that's ironic.
Are you liking this?
Of course not. But it is rather curious, don't you think? Someone telling a story about us, like we're in a novel, or a play.
I hate the theater.
But you like books.
I suppose so.
Well then,
All right, I'm game.
After a brief lapse of reality, Chastity rejoined her lover. There they sat, looking for answers, finding nothing questions. Where was their love heading? What about Harvey? What were the circumstances surrounding his death?
oh, he was a bit old. Natural causes.
Olston said for no apparent reason.
Sorry.
Olston apologized to no one.
I don't know what we're supposed to do.
Chastity stated, was their love to survive or was it to end in Paris?
Are we in Paris?
I suppose so.
Finally, a clue into Olston's psyche, Chastity thought. Olston didn't know where he was. By consequence, he didn't know who he was. It seemed he had left his identity back in Boise, Idaho.
We're not in Boise then.
No.
His delusion was great, his reality small.
What?
Pay no attention to her, that's the point.
Oh, I see.
Chastity grew as cold as the forceful winter of February. She hoped her indifference would shake her aching lover back into reality, far from his wife in Boise, Idaho.
We're not married.
No.
How much indifference could an affair such as this stand?
Do I know you?
Yes.
But did he really know who she was? Did he really know who she was? Did anyone know who Harvey was? Did it matter? A silence spoke between them. A silence spoke mountains to Chastity, molecules to Olston. Eventually, the silence became too much. Waiting for their food became too much. She had to break the seemingly endless quiet. She just had to. She was compelled.
So, tell me about your wife in Boise, Idaho.
What?
Your wife in Boise, Idaho. The one you think about. A lot.
Chastity's sudden directness struck Olston. He hadn't expected such a confrontation.
Oh, I see. I love her.
The truth! Finally, the truth!
So you won't leave her.
No. I love her.
You love me.
Do I?
Yes.
Reminding him was all it took. Suddenly, all the promises rushed back and exploded like a giant water balloon. Pained by this, she threw her water into his face.
Hey! You're a bastard! To think of all the times we shared, you used me.
You threw water at me. People are staring.
There's no one here. There's no one in this world except you and me.
This was a new backbone for Chastity. She felt enraged, empowered, as if suddenly everything made sense. To signify this transformation, she slapped Olston's face.
Oh,
You never loved me.
you hit me!
Yes, and I'd do it again.
And she did!
I can't help thinking you love your wife, but that doesn't mean you have to take me down with you.
Chastity felt the need to explain this statement.
What I mean is, I don't have to suffer because of your wife, who isn't even here in Paris, France, but is in fact in Boise, Idaho.
Chastity! Get a hold of yourself. I love you. Oh, I will continue to love you. Provided that you don't throw water at me or slap me in the face any longer.
They stared at each other, longing hard, eyes filled with enough voltage to kill small animals. All the passions they had came rushing back. They exploded into a furious kiss. But how could Chastity have known that as their lips grappled, Alston was still envisioning his wife?
You can't tell what I'm thinking.
You never kissed me like that before. I can only assume that you were thinking of your wife in Boise, Idaho. I deserve more than that, Olson. I deserve magic. I deserve the truth. I deserve love.
Love is like a fat accordion player, Chastity. You never know which one to squeeze.
Analogies were never Olson's strong suit. At this, Chastity could only laugh. Genuinely.
I can never resist your bad analogies. I love you. Say you love me.
I do. Oh, wonderful. I'm so hungry for food. Or some.
Chastity's illusion shattered as the young lady Stanley entered the room. Her heart skipped a beat. Would she tell him? Could she tell him?
I think you have something to tell me.
Do I? I'm not sure.
Was there any way to tell him? How could she bring this wonderful moment to an end? She thought it best to keep her awful secret from him.
Well, I'm curious as to know what you're thinking right now.
So am I.
Could he sense her change in breath as Stanley entered the room? Could he feel her temperature rise as her misbegotten lover snuck her a glance?
You slept with the waiter?
What? No, don't be ridiculous.
You liar!
Olson, really, I didn't.
Liar!
You threw your water at me.
Liar! Liar!
Alston filled his stomach at her!
You! Waiter!
Stanley.
Once again, Chastity referred to Olson as Stanley, a mistake she would soon regret.
Waiter!
Yes, sir.
Don't give me that. You know what you did.
Is the salad not to your liking, sir?
Don't play dumb.
Stanley.
Stanley. Yes. Stanley. You know what you did. Stanley!
My name is Mark, sir! Okay, I can be Stanley. Stanley's fine. I don't know her.
When we deceive someone. Oh, I should leave here now, Stanley!
I can get a manager, sir!
Get out of here! You sicken me.
Yes, sir! Thank you, sir!
Not far enough.
Yes, it has. You trollop!
Okay. What about your wife in Boise, Idaho?
There is no Boise, Idaho. There's only here now in Paris, France.
Stanley.
Olsen!
The moment was too much for Olson. He found no justifiable beliefs in this endeavor. Whatever it was he was feeling, it was law.
This is your doing. This is all your fault.
It's not real, Olson.
Liar!
You're scaring me.
You betrayed me. You went too far.
Help me!
Alston's vengeful hands gripped Chastity's delicate throat. No one could hear her cries of help.
Help Finally, she was free. Free from Olson's grip, free from the constant reminders of Boise, Idaho. She left that cafe in Paris, France reborn, ready to start her life over, ready to write her own story.